Hello everyone. So, in the continuation of our previous that we were actually studying the calculus. So we are going to today we are going to see today we'll see um, some common derivatives which is higher degree polynomial. Okay, so for cubic it's y, suppose it's y is equals to f of x equals to x cube. So let's draw the graph here, and the curve is like something like this. So this this we can draw the tangent line. So suppose this is our point 1, and suppose this is our minus 1. Okay, so this is the slope of tangent. Now let's calculate slope of second line. So previously we had seen slope is del f by del x. Therefore x plus del x whole cube minus x cube, and নিচে হচ্ছে del x. So this is something like if it is x is equals to, suppose it's half, then we had x cube here, so obviously this x cube will be 1 by 8. So let's say through a table here. Okay, so suppose we have del x here. Okay, we have del x here, and then we have del f, and lastly the slope. Okay, so if del x is 1, so del f will be x plus del x whole cube minus x cube. That was our formula, and del x is basically 1, so we it's not needed to be counted anyway. So it will be half plus 1, as we have declared x is equals to half and del x is 1, so 1 whole cube minus half whole cube. So this will be 27 by 8 is equals to 3.25. So this will be 3.25, and the slope will be the formula is this del f by del x. So del f by del x will be 3.25 by 1, so basically it will be 3.25. Okay, now moving on, if we have del x for half, like if we suppose it was suppose the point is at first here, then the point will be something like this, like we are decreasing the interval anyway. So moving on, suppose del x is half now. So the formula, let's calculate. So it will be x plus del x whole cube minus x cube. So this will be um half plus half whole cube minus half whole cube. So it will be 1 minus 1 by 8. So this is um 0.86. Okay, so del f will be here 0.86, and our slope will be del f by del x. So this is basically 1.75. So basically, if we keep calculating these things like this, suppose we have 1.4, so it will be 0.30 and be 1.18 something. Then suppose we have lastly 1 by 1000, then if we calculate, it will come something like 0.0008, and the slope will be 0.752. So now um so this will be f of prime uh 0.5, basically half, I mean. So it will be dtx of f of x, which means 0.5 will be um 0.75, like we have calculated an approximate uh, average value. So so this is basically 3 times of 0.5 whole square. We just proved that Turkey, because so this is the derivative of x cube. x কিউবের ডেরিভেটিভ হচ্ছে 3x square, that we have just proved. Now let's calculate with, I mean, formally, that's del f by del x. So this is f of x plus del x minus f of x. So it will be del x here. Okay, I'm sorry. So it's okay, so it's x plus যাও দরজা লাগায় যাও. So it's x plus del x, sorry, del x whole cube minus x cube by del x. So if we calculate this, let's put it with a formula. So it's x cube plus 3x into del x square plus 3x square into del x plus del x whole cube minus x cube by del x. So if we calculate this, 3x del x plus 3x square plus del x whole square, and previously we had seen that del x tends to 0. We had seen with the curve, I mean with the graph. So if this is 0 and if this is 0, so it will remain only 3x square. So therefore um, derivative of the cube x cube is 3x square. Okay, so moving on. Now we will see derivative of 1 by x. So basically 1 over x. Okay, so let's draw a graph. Basically it will be hyperbola. So this will be something like this. So we will work with this portion. So suppose we have a point here 1 comma 1, and so this is 1, suppose this is 2, and suppose it's 3 here. Okay, so the function is y is equals to f of x is equals to x inverse, which is 1 by x. So the formula we had seen before of slope is basically del f by del x is equals to, it will be x plus del x to the power minus 1 minus x inverse by del x. Okay, so basically here del f is basically the um, change in the vertical direction, and so if we consider del x is as 1, basically I mean the interval, if we take the interval as 1, so here it will be uh it will be basically 2 um for the del x. So if our del x is equals to 1, so del f will be x plus del x to the power minus 1 minus x inverse, so it's 1 plus 1 inverse, as our x is 1 and our del x is also 1, so minus 1. So 1 এর inverse actually 1 ই হয়, so then it will be basically half minus 1 equals to minus half. So del x, del f, and then slope. Okay, so del x is 1, and we just have calculated our del f, which is minus half. So here it's half, it will be half here. This is something like this, basically it's going downward. Anyway, so then it's our uh, del f is minus half, and slope will be obviously minus half by 1 is equals to minus half. So now if we shortened our interval and then we fix it as half, so it will be let's calculate. So it will be 1 plus 0.5 inverse minus 1, so it's 1 plus half, so 1 plus half, so it's 2 by 3 minus 1. So we have an inverse here anyway, so then it's minus 0.33, so it will be minus 0.33, and our slope will be basically মাইনাস এই মাইনাসটা আর হচ্ছে আমাদের যে মাইনাস 0.5 ছিল ওইটা কাউন্ট করে, সো ইট উইল বি এটা প্লাসের মতো দেখা যাচ্ছে। ওকে, so this will be 0.33 by 0.5, so it will be minus 0.67. So if we keep continue calculating this, if I take 1 by 8 as an interval, so it will be 0.11, and so the slope will be 0.89. So lastly, if I take 1 by 1000, so it will be minus 0.001, and it will be minus 0.999. So basically, f of 1 is equals to ddx of um, f of 1, so it's minus 1, as we have seen minus 0.999, so এটাকে আমরা হচ্ছে 1ই ধরতে পারি, so it's we can write it as minus 1 into 1 square. So now let's see the slope. Let's calculate the slope in mathematical format. So it's del f by del x then f of x plus del x minus f of x আমার গলা বসে গেছে মনে হচ্ছে, then del x, so it is x plus del x inverse minus x inverse by del x, so it will be 1 by x plus del x minus 1 by x by del x, so it's x, it's x plus del x x, so x minus x plus del x by del x. So if we calculate this, it will come as minus 1 by x square plus x del x. So as we had seen before that del x tends to 0, so it will be minus 1 by x square. So basically যেটা দাঁড়াচ্ছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে we have proved that ddx of f is equals to del f by del x is equals to 1 by minus 1 by x square. So therefore f prime of x is equals to minus x to the power minus 2. Okay, so now we will see okay, now we'll see the inverse function and its derivative. Okay, So basically, inverse function is something like that you will give something, it will be modified, and then it will get back to the phase once it was. So basically, suppose we had a flower. Suppose we had a flower and then it went through a process. Then now the flower has a leaf and then it went through a process and then we got back our previous flower. I mean this one. Um, excuse me. Okay, so let's say this in a mathematical form. Like if we have x, so it will go through something like ধরো f of x, then suppose আমরা হচ্ছে x square পাইলাম, then it again goes goes through a process which is g. So uh, it's suppose g of x, so we will find x again. So g of x and f of x, they are inverses. um like not like x 1 by x, I mean not like this, but these are inverses. I mean this is a notation, and so it's g of x is equals to f inverse x, or we can also write this as g of f of x is equals to x. Okay, so now let's see the derivatives of these. Um, Let me draw a graph. So, um, okay, I'm trying to draw a graph here. Suppose we have a graph here and we have another graph here. So it's like this and it's like this. Okay, so this is our f of x is equals to x square, and this is our g of y is equals to root y in a sense, like we have seen before, we got x square then we got x again, so root over x square ই তো হচ্ছে x anyway. So suppose let's suppose we have a point here like half and 1 by 4. Okay, so as this is the inverse of it, so um here it will be 1 by 4 and half. So basically like this is 1 by 2 half, right? So half কে আমরা যখন স্কয়ার করব, so it will be 1 by 4, so it will be 1 by 4, and then আমরা 1 by 4 নিচ্ছি, so 1 by 4 নিলে এটাকে যখন আমরা আবার রুট করলে আমরা 1 by 2 পাচ্ছি. So here the horizontal axis is x here, and the horizontal axis is y here, and basically if there is point a comma b, so it will appear here as b comma a. So now if we see, so as I have just explained about the half and 1/4. So it's something like suppose it's f of half, so it's half square, right? So it's 1/4. And then suppose we have g of f of half, so it's basically g of 1/4. So আমরা 1/g of টা তো হচ্ছে আমরা রুট দেখছিলাম তাই না? So we will get half. So basically আমার যেটা ছিল আমি সেটাই আবার ব্যাক পাচ্ছি. So we are basically uh, this is basically returning us the thing we had. So this is our slope of the tangent, suppose. Okay. But first, so if we take a point like 1 comma 1, so it's like f of 1 will be 1 and g of f of 1 will be also 1. So it will be like 1 comma 1. So এখানেও the point will be same 1 comma 1. Now let me draw more details, like so suppose it's 1 comma 1 here, and we have also another graph like um suppose we have a graph like this, so it's suppose we have 1 comma 1 here, something like that. So if we increase it, the interval, I mean 0.5, so here it suppose it's our 1.5, and so this 1.5, and as we had seen our f of x is equals to x square, like এই যে আমরা স্কয়ার করতেছি, স্কয়ার ছিল, সো 1.5 এর স্কয়ার হচ্ছে 2.25, so it's our 2.25 it will be. So this is something like this. So this is our horizontal, which is del x here, and this will be our del y, which is vertical. Okay, so and here it's it's just the inverse, like 2.25 comma 1.5. So this is something like this, and this is our del y, and this is our del g. Let's assume it's del g. So sorry, it's not del y, it's del f. Okay, so here the slope is del f by del x, and here the slope is basically um del g by del y, which is basically we can say del x by del f. This is our horizon. Okay, so আচ্ছা হরাইজনে আমার del x, and এখানে হচ্ছে আচ্ছা এখানে একটা জিনিস, so horizontally we are seeing del x here, this is our horizon, which is del x টা হরাইজনটাকে আমরা নিচে দিচ্ছি, রাইট? বাট এইখানে হচ্ছে আমরা ভার্টিক্যালটাকে হচ্ছে মানে বেসিক্যালি আমার হরাইজনটা এখানে নিচে। আচ্ছা, সো um so what I'm trying to say is sometimes this side's horizontal is equals to this side's vertical. Okay, so therefore we saw del f by del x is our f prime of x that we had seen before. So we can also say that del g by del y is equals to g prime of y. So therefore we can say g prime of y is equals to 1 by f prime, যেহেতু এই দুটা হচ্ছে inversely, so it's f prime of x. Proved. Okay, then so okay, so now we will see derivatives of trigonometric functions. Okay, so suppose we have a function okay, we have sin y, so f of x, so it will be sin x. Now let me draw a graph. কেমন জানি এখানে weird. আচ্ছা, okay, let me draw a graph. So first আমি axis আঁকছি। Okay, so sin x এর গ্রাফের জন্য এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের 0, সো ধরলাম, আচ্ছা এটা হচ্ছে ধরলাম পাই বাই 2 অ্যান্ড এটাও ধরলাম মাইনাস পাই বাই 2। তাহলে আহ ধরলাম এখানে আমাদের আরেকটা, এখানে আরেকটা, সো ইটস so it will be like this. খুবই অদ্ভুত। দেন এইভাবে আচ্ছা never mind. So this is our this is pi by 2, and suppose this there is slope, this is our slope. So এটা হচ্ছে বেসিক্যালি আমাদের সাইনের গ্রাফ আমরা ড্র করলাম। এখন হচ্ছে সো লেটস কনসিডার সাম পয়েন্ট। এখানে আছে আমাদের x, দেন উই হ্যাভ স্লোপ, আর এখানে হচ্ছে আমরা cos x টা কাউন্ট করব। সো x will be, so there is pi by 2, is pi by 2. So for pi by 2 our slope is 0. For minus pi by 2 the slope will be 0 as well. For 0 it's 1, and for minus pi it's -1. So cos x হচ্ছে আমরা মানে ভ্যালুটা বসাবো। So this will be 0, and this will be also 0. This is 1, and this will be -1. So I'm যদি if I draw the cos part, so it will come like this. uh Something like this. Okay, so this is our cos x, and this is sin x. Okay, so cos x এর ভ্যালু তো আমরা লিখলাম। সো এখান থেকে যেটা বোঝা যাচ্ছে সেটা হচ্ছে f of x, আমাদের f of x হচ্ছে sin x। So f of x, f prime of x will be, I mean the derivative will be cos x. But same goes with f of x. If f of x is equals to cos x, then f prime of x will be minus sin x. Um, for cos, so in case of cos, the curve will be like this. This is our curve. Okay, so um this was our cos curve, so something like this. And এটার উপর যদি আমরা সাইনের ইয়াটা ওভারড্র করি এইভাবে নিয়ে, এটা হচ্ছে 0 দিয়ে যে, pardon my drawing, it will go something like this: sin x, so cos y is equals to f of x, which means cos x. Okay, so for x we will count slope and as well as sin x. So for x 0 slope will be 0, and for minus pi it's 0, for pi by 2 it's minus 1, and minus pi by 2 it will be 1. So in sin x it will be, I mean the value will be 0 and 0 and 1 and minus 1. So we are getting like this. So now let me draw something. Mm, Suppose this is an axis and this is also an axis. So suppose we have a circle here. So let me draw a radius. Okay, so here x is the angle here, and between like the horizontal axis and the line. So cos x will be the projection of x-axis. This is our x-axis. So এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের cos x, and it will be our sin x, which is projection of y-axis. So it's sin x. And now if I move the x angle a bit more, just like this, I mean like this, and let's add it. So now the angle is, suppose I increase it with in till x amount. So of course it will be cos x plus del x, and um this will be sin x plus del x. Okay. So we find a portion here. We find this. Now if I portray this in uh you know জুম, একটু জুম করে যদি জিনিসটাকে আমি পোর্ট্রে করি, so it will be something like this. And আমাদের সার্কেলের জিনিসটা হচ্ছে যে এমন ছিল। আচ্ছা, so Now, um, suppose we have an angle here, it's phi. So, okay, so now cos phi will be, cos phi is adjacent by hypotenuse. So it's adjacent by hypotenuse. So it's, আচ্ছা এটা ছিল আমাদের ডেল সাইন এক্স। সরি, ওকে, সো এটা ছিল আমাদের ডেল সাইন এক্স অ্যান্ড আমাদের এটা ছিল হচ্ছে মাইনাস কজ এক্স। সো আর এটাকে ধরলাম আমরা এইচ। সো এখানে হবে হচ্ছে ডেল সাইন এক্স লাইক adjacent by hypotenuse, so it's del sin x by হচ্ছে h, and sin phi will be basically opposite, so opposite by h, so it will be minus del cos x, sorry এখানে একটা del হবে, so minus del cos x by হচ্ছে h. Okay, so now what if this delta gets smaller and smaller? I mean, triangular hypotenuse coincides with arch of circle and approach del x. I mean, very small, like tiny. So in that case, so let me draw it again. Something like, so that was our del cos x, and it was our del sin x, and so I'm considering it del x, and the angle is x. So angle phi and angle so basically জিনিস সেমই। সো অ্যাঙ্গেল ফাই হচ্ছে অ্যাঙ্গেল এক্স কে হচ্ছে নিউ ভ্যালু দিয়ে অ্যাপ্রোচ করে বেসিকলি। সো কজ এক্স যদি লিখি এ বাই এইচ, সো ডেল সাইন এক্স বাই ডেল এক্স, ডেল সাইন এক্স বাই ডেল এক্স, অ্যান্ড সাইন এক্স হচ্ছে মাইনাস ডেল কজ এক্স বাই ডেল এক্স। সো এই জিনিসটাকে যদি আমি একটু গুছায় লিখি, so এটা ছিল আমাদের ডেল সাইন এক্স equals to h cos phi, so del sin x equal to h cos phi, and এটা ছিল আমাদের um, h sin না সরি মাইনাস del cos x equals to h sin phi. So এটাও এরকম, আহ it will be del sin x is equals to del x cos x, del x cos x, and এটা হচ্ছে, and this will be um, minus del cos x equals to del x sin x. So finally we can see that গলা বসে গেছে আচ্ছা so finally we can see that যে if f of x is equals to আমাদের sin of x, so it will be, so the derivative will be cos x, এই যে cos x, and যদি হচ্ছে f of x is our cos x, so derivative will be f of x হচ্ছে minus sin x. so এই মাইনাসটাই হচ্ছে এখানে যায় minus sin x. So that is how we get the derivatives of trigonometry. So this is all for today. Today we have seen x cube, then in 1 by x, then we have seen inverse, then we have seen trigonometric function. So in the next session we will see more like derivatives of logarithm, then e to the power x, and so on. So আজকের মতো এই পর্যন্তই।